All right, here we are. Only 10 minutes late this time. We getting better. It's an improvement. I will say it is an improvement from typically what happens because the technology is improving a little bit, but it ain't quite hit just yet. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, yes.
Actually got a higher speed setup I'm about to have on probably by the end of the week.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So between that, this will definitely boost things up a bit. I'm sitting up
Something's
here.
going on over here. I'm sorry, y'all. Something just happened. I apologize. Okay. Getting
I
back
told you I
to
don't start that shit.
it. Okay, so what we're gonna talk about tonight? Hello,
Oh,
everybody. Let me say hello.
yeah, because you already done forgot that fast, right?
No, I have not. But I want to
Let's
name this topic.
let's just leave the bald headed shit to the bald headed times, all right? That's all I'm saying.
Hush.
Anyway, good evening, good night, everybody. This is another edition of the Social Experiment. I am Maximus, and to my left shoulder is Sabrina, my co-host over here and good friend.
Yes.
We are on here today because it's all about proper gender placement, proper actions. Like a lot of people have been talking about this whole incident, which the incident itself, how I feel about it personally, just to get it out of the way, is I don't have a problem with it. I think the only thing is, as a black man in America, we're always held to a higher standard and we're expected to carry ourselves in a specific way. But not for nothing, if that's my wife and this dude want to be funny and have jokes over something that I've literally sat and had to watch her cry and go through stress and everything for it. Because at first he was laughing. He was laughing too. He's trying to laugh it off because that's what he does. He's a man of class. He's not the type to really react on things like that. But there are a lot of heavy things going on within their life. A lot of challenges he's had to deal with. And at the end of the day, he's still a human being. Because, like I said, I keep it 100 with you. If that was me, I'd throw the overhand right slap, hot chew to the right left cheek too. I wouldn't feel guilty one way or another about it. And I'll tell you what it's all about. It's all about being a man. Because when you're a man, you got to protect your wife. Period. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. When you are a man, you have to protect your wife. Even sometimes when she might be wrong in what she's doing, when y'all together, you have to protect your wife. If there's some wrongdoing involved, you address that shit on the side when it's just you and her. That's how you handle that. But in that open moment, you're going to protect your wife. And you know what that means? You bringing that right hand of God back and you're bringing it across the left side of the face like the fuck you do. Personally, I feel like he was bolstering himself in that moment. I feel like he huffed himself up. It reminded me of one of his acting skits. he done from the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, where he got overly dramatic. Don't be talking about what? Keep my wife's name out your mouth. It felt a little overplayed, if you ask me. But he had to, because now his pride as a man is at stake. He has to stand up for his woman. And that's pretty much all I got to say about that. Sabrina, what do you feel?
I feel the same sentiments. I don't have a problem with what Will did. A lot of people are saying that, oh, he could have just stood up and said something. Yeah, he could have done that as well. But in the moment, you know, um, you never know what a person's going to do in a particular moment. And I know that the Oscars was not a good place to do that. However, look, he did it and life goes on. And as I've said before, Chris knows not to mess with nobody else's wife. Well, at least not Will's wife.
He'll still do it. That's what Chris Rock does.
He knows not to mess with her to their
Let me
face
tell you
anymore.
something.
If
I
anything,
promise you, I guarantee you that's not the first time he's been hit. I
I'm
promise you
pretty
that.
sure. I'm
Because
sure.
as a
But
comedian, it's hard sometimes when you are trying to engage in your acts. And I mean, your acts are going to have a little bit of reality mixed up in the joke.
right,
There's going to be some realness mixed up in there. That's inescapable.
yes,
So you're going to have people that are going to be like, exactly. See, Ted agrees with me. He said
yeah,
he took that slap like a natural. And that was
yes,
true. He did. This
yeah,
is not the first time.
yeah. But see, what else was I gonna say about it? Oh God, I just missed my thought. I
Yep,
just
Tyler
completely missed
Marie
my
said the
thought.
same thing. She like,
Tia,
that's not the
That's
first time
Tia
he was
Marie.
in
Tia, please get it right.
it. Well,
Hey,
I don't
Tia.
know her bad. I just said it how I saw it. So I said it. I ain't guarantee I'm getting anybody's name right in this. You know what I'm saying? But I'll tell you something deeper than that, though.
What's that?
See, the thing is, it's much like as a man, and there's actually a deeper issue at hand here.
Mhm,
As a man, there are just certain gender roles you have to play.
mhm,
Just like there are certain gender roles women have to play. A lot of times, those gender roles are not played properly. And that is why a lot of relationships fail. I look at my black people, we are like divorcing at the craziest rates in the country, period.
yes.
And these are things, a lot of this is because of little things like this, like a little moment where your man didn't stand up for you when you feel he should have.
Yes.
And I don't honestly, I think the Oscars was a great stage for it because it needed to be on a big stage. It needed to be from somebody who normally doesn't black out. Because if it was somebody like Chris Brown or whoever, we looked and been like, that's just Chris being Chris. But
Okay.
from getting jiggy with it, men in black dancing ass, polka dot music playing. If you know what polka dot music is, that's because you from
Yes.
back in the 80s and all that shit. You understand polka dot music is. That's what Will Smith used to do. It was a fun ass music genre from back in the days, but that guy brought the West Philadelphia back out his ass.
Yeah. Yeah.
And truthfully, if it was me, he lucky because me, I would have knocked him out of his shoes. Like I'm sitting there holding this woman at night. She crying about her alopecia. She losing her hair. Women take a lot of pride in their hair.
Yes.
They spend hundreds of not even the richer ones spend thousands of dollars on their hair products, this, that, and the third. To go through all of that, seeing her trying all these things, she's rich and still struggling to get this right. And you're just going to you're just gonna sit there, you're gonna make joke of it. Now I get it. Chris Rock didn't mean no harm by it. Don't get me wrong. But at the end of the day, when you're a comedian, you're always ready to get punched in the face, smack. or otherwise attacked because you're gonna say some hot shit that's gonna piss some people off. Honestly, you're not a good comedian if you're not doing
Right.
it. Like,
Oh, let me go with this. I'm sorry. Let me go with this thought since I'm on it. That well, I'm not gonna say what everybody's saying. No, I feel like either way, had Will done nothing, had he said something, had he laughed, had he went up there and slapped, whatever he would have done, whatever reaction he would have
mm-hmm.
had, people are
that
still going to talk about those people.
that's 100%, 100%. And
But he
here's the
gave
joke.
y'all a real reason to talk now, though.
Listen, here's the joke of it because I had something else I was going to talk about, which I will say kind of segues through this. One of Sabrina's favorite topics, you know, which is even in order to get to these marriage roles, like just like a man has a certain role and position he has to play. Remember when I said a woman has a certain position she has to play too? Even before you get to the marriage point, there are certain positions you have to play. And there are certain things you have to do. Like, it amazes me because how some, like, we're in a day and age where all of that old school courting and all that shit, it's out the window. This is a different day and age. This is a day and age where a lot of people don't have time to be standing outside underneath your window throwing a little pebble so you can go neck at the lake or some bullshit like that. There's no time for that because motherfuckers are too busy getting this paper. You know, then social media and connecting and all that has created new opportunities for ways to express things.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, it's also opened up a lot of opportunity too. Just as much as it's opened up a lot of connectivity between males and females who may have never met each other otherwise. And in this dating community, in this dating atmosphere, there's a big thing that is not happening. And some realize it's happening, realize there's a war going on outside for the higher quality men that exist in this community. Whereas, and women ain't gonna like this shit, but I don't care. Y'all gonna have to learn that y'all too have to compete. Just like the men have to compete for you, y'all also gotta compete for them men. Because at the end of the day, yes, you may have a nice ass, some big titties, and whatever else, but so does she, her, and her as well. And it's going to be about who's the one that's going to captivate that man. Especially if you're looking for a committed relationship, you need to be a captivating ass female. And a lot of women don't like to put forth any effort. They just think they got it like that because they got a couple of men that want to sleep with them. Having a bunch of men want to sleep with you is not an accomplishment. A lot of men don't even have no damn standards, and they'll stick their hole in a fucking rigid ass fucking piece of wood. So that's not really saying anything. There's men now stick their dick in a random ass glory hole and don't care who's on the other side doing God knows what to them. So you having a bunch of men coming for you ain't saying much.
Right.
Now, how many men you have actually being gentlemen callers to you, actually looking to marry you, actually dating you with the intent of looking for a wife? That's something that needs to be engaged. That is something that needs to be appreciated. That's something where you get the kind of man that'll step up on that stage because he knows you went and walked through the fire to be with him. You stepped up and showed him why he needs to make you his missus. And you're damn straight. For my wife, I'm going to step up on that motherfucking stage and I'm going to slap fire out of whoever the fuck want to talk left about her. We will fight. We will go to blows. I like to fight anyway.
Oh
So don't give
God.
me a reason.
No, we don't, y'all. He don't like to
No,
fight.
I really do.
Okay.
I got the bruises on my knuckles to prove it. I like to ball. I like to scuffle. Yes, I know how to handle a firearm. I've handled all of them. I've been to shooting
Oh
ranges for
God.
years, but I'm not out here to shoot nobody. It ain't that serious. Put a nice right overhand right slap to the face because you want to run and talk loose. I'm with them shits. And that's the kind of masculine energy as a man, because I'm going to say it's about men too. Men, all of you ain't a prize. A lot of times you men come walking around out here and y'all watching Kevin Samuels. I watch him too sometimes. And I will tell you, when he's talking about women competing for men, he's talking about men of value, men of quality. You all are not a prize. A lot of you ain't worth the shit that you walk through. I know because I sit here and counsel these females and got to watch them crying about half of y'all raggedy asses. And honestly, it's a miracle that some of them put up with the nonsense they do. Now, we know there's a bunch of women that run around out here and they ain't shit. And I get that. All men ain't shit. I mean, all women ain't shit. There's a lot of women that ain't shit. There's always ain't shit people on both sides.
Mhm.
But here's the problem. You have to learn to decipher and separate between one and the other.
Right.
A lot of you are not doing that. A lot of you women think because you think you got good pussy, that means you can just go strutting around and do whatever the fuck you want to do. Just because it's good to you and it was good to him don't mean it's impressive to the next guy. You have to understand on your side, women, now I'm jumping from the women's side to the men's side on purpose. You have to understand that competition is real. And ladies, I'm going to say this. A lot of you don't know how to pick your partners. You need to know who you getting with before you invest in a long-term commitment. It don't take no real time to know what direction this man is going in. A lot of you tend to go for the potential of the man as far as what his intent is for you and not what he is saying right now. Don't look at what he may change his mind or may say in the future. If you're looking to be a wife and he just looking to fuck, you need to leave him alone. I don't care how good the dick is. You
Right.
can find a husband now and throw the dick down on you too. But the problem is you're ignoring him while you're messing with fuckboy and then complain about why you're still stuck on the fuckboy.
And having babies.
Oh no, we ain't even gonna get into the ones who sit up here and make multiple babies. You know how many times I will say, just in my personal dating life, how many times I've done got with a girl and she got multiple babies by a dude, but swear to God that this dude's dick was whack. And I'm just like, how you? And you know what? I will swear to you, in the majority of my relationships, it's always that story of, oh, I was with this dude, but his dick was whack. But you got 3 babies by him. Make it make sense. Why you
I
kept
think
getting back with this dude? And so constantly he wasn't shit. He wasn't hardly doing nothing special for you. And the dick was whack, but you still was with him for 6 years.
let me get on that. A
Go
lot
ahead and
of
get on
women
it.
a lot of women think that you have to be loyal to one man all the time, but that don't mean you have to be dumb. Okay? You don't have to keep having babies by somebody because you had one baby by him and you want to just be loyal. And a lot of people do look down on women that basically they say she gave up on the guy. No, when you like they treat you,
Mm-hmm.
believe that shit and move the fuck on.
Fact.
Okay? You don't
Mm-hmm.
have to keep getting back with them. You don't have to stay around because you got loyalty. Okay? Fuck loyalty at that point. Loyalty is out the fucking door when he's treating you like a goddamn dog. Okay? It's no excuse. You got to demand to be treated like you supposed to be treated. All right? So stop having all these babies. Buy this
Hold
motherfucker.
on. You cut for a minute, so they might not have heard what you said. Rewind like 10 seconds and say it again.
Okay. So stop having all these babies by this one motherfucker that's treating you
No, no,
like
no, 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 no. Let's not be careful with that statement, because then you're gonna have these dumbasses running around out here having different babies by different men, and then I
no.
gotta hold
You
on,
don't have to keep. You don't have to keep having babies. That's my whole
hold
thing.
on. And then the worst part of it is then my damn tax is gonna go up because we gotta pay for all the fucking bastard children they keep making all over the place. Ain't nobody got time to be paying for their rugrats.
Oh
They're bad.
God, no.
They're bad
I'm not
decision babies.
suggesting do that. He went left, y'all. I'm not suggesting do that. I'm just saying be
Oh,
about the person that you're with and that the people that you keep bringing into your life. You have to think about first of all the life of your child, okay? And then just because you got another one that's there doesn't mean you have to keep having babies, okay? You have to think smart. First of all, you can't afford them. How you gonna afford all those babies? Y'all not thinking. Y'all just
a lot of
getting big.
times they not. A lot of times they not, and that's the problem. Is there's no thinking process going on here. It's just people carrying on and doing whatever they feel comes naturally to them at that moment.
Mm-hmm.
And that kind of behavior makes me want to line you up for a slap. Because I told you, I made a post the other day. Some people want to be funny, take this slap post left. I got a girl. I'm not trying to slap on nobody's ass. I got an ass to slap on already. I'm good. So that'll answer that question and anybody wondering what I'm talking about. Because I say my shit straight with no chaser out here. I'm not here to whatever. I ain't out here slapping a bunch of asses. This right hand right here, this big ass hand, is to come across your damn face. If you feel it will help you wake up from the sleep that you are currently residing in. Because a lot of you motherfuckers is out here sleeping lost. And that shit is frustrating to me.
Yeah.
It is frustrating to me. It is mystifying to me. In some of your cases, I look at you and I'm like, how she expect this, that, and this? Like, I want to tell a lot of you ladies something. Because I know a lot of time women like men, they want the man with the money and all that stuff. Understand something. And this is going to go into another thing, which is the thing that Sabrina's smiling because she already know where I'm about to go with this.
Go ahead, do your thing. I already know.
No matter what or who you get with, whether they have money, don't have money, maybe they just building, they're earning but not quite there yet, and all those other terminologies or whatever. Understand, no matter what you got, you settling in some way, shape, or form. Every single person is settled. Settling is not a bad thing. Settling is the equivalent of compromise. When you get in a relationship, you always compromise things. Like up until a little while ago, before this relationship started with me, I thought monogamy wasn't even a thing or a concept that I was really interested in. But if you get the right person next to you, you get the right energy around you, and if you are mentally, because it really comes from here and here, you have to be ready to be in whatever position you want to be, whether you want to be in a poly relationship, a single relationship. I mean, single. You want to be single, or you want to be in a monogamous relationship, whatever. Swing relationship, all of that. No matter sub-dom, any of them type of forms. The most important thing is you have to believe it yourself first.
Let me ask you a question. And I think we hit on this in the past, and I don't think we talked about this on the show. But do you think that a woman, a woman can make a man settle down? That she has
Nobody
to be
can
the
make a
right
man
type
do
of woman?
Nobody can make a man do anything. It's about the right man coming across the right woman and them coming together at the right time. Like the expression goes, things don't always happen when you want, but they come on time.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes that time that you think was the time it should have been, it wasn't the time because you wasn't ready.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't realize you wasn't ready at the time because you swore you were ready.
Right.
But when you finally came across it, it was like bada bing, bada boom. Now you really are ready. And you're able to jump into this. You don't even have to think about much. Everything just kind of clicks on automatic because you already know what it is that you want and how you want it.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is, they always make the joke of the broke dick guy sitting up here, 50 years old, popping like 15 Viagra's before he realized it's time to settle down because now he all dried out. Or the girl whose vagina looks like a bad Arby's sandwich. That is funny. But that is also real life in some circumstances because some people, that's the path they need to take. Because you can't do it any sooner than the time that you are scheduled to do it. And a lot of people don't understand that schedule, whether it's a thing of faith that you believe in God and God has a schedule or a plan for you, or if you're a person of you just believe in doing things in due time, regardless of whatever your perspective may be. I'm not here to tell people or preach anything to people about their perspectives. What I'm here to tell you is you got to know the truth for yourself. And a lot of people don't know that truth. See, I like this. Like Brianna Roberts said this. I like this statement here. Said, I made my mistakes and now I'm better off doing what's best for me and my kids only. And that's a respectable thing because the first step to growing to be the bigger and best version of yourself is you have to be honest with yourself. When you're out here in this dating market, ladies, and the reason I keep saying ladies, because these men are going to come at everything. It's you women who constantly have y'all slaps already. Slap this guy away, slap that guy away. Y'all stay sending people off. And there's an expression, you pick till you pick shit. You have to realize at some point or another, you're going to have to settle for somebody. Because yes, ladies, you too will have to settle. Because as perfect as you may think you are, I guarantee you, you get the right person in front of you, they'll tear apart a few things about you that ain't perfect. Not to say that men are going to do that, because men typically have more tact than to go breaking down a woman's imperfections. That's like the worst fucking thing you can do. But
hold on, I'm gonna hit on that. Go ahead though.
I'm just saying, men in general have more couth than that. I'm not gonna say all men because we know some men are stupid, but in general, more men have more couth than that. So they're not gonna come and be like, "Oh, look at you, your left toe is longer than your right toe," or look at you, you got a tooth that's a little crooked, or you know what I'm saying, like little stupid petty shit.
I was just about to talk about that because somebody talked about one of my teeth being crooked. He really, like, literally mentioned that, pointed it all out. He was looking for a flaw and he found it.
Well, look, like I said, we all have flaws.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is, you need to come to terms and respect each other's differences. The true love, and I'm going to give you a little secret about true love. I'll give you this one for free. True love is this is the definition of true love. Is being able to recognize and accept each other for the imperfections that each other carries, but still love, care, and want to protect and want the best for that person,
Yes.
regardless of those imperfections. Because everything's all good when it's all good. But who's the person that will love you at your worst? When you're sitting there feeling down and you need that pick me up, who's that person? If you ever want, let me tell you something. The best thing you could ever have, because a lot of times men and women don't want to meet each other when they're on their grind because, oh, I'm trying to focus on my grind. Nah, that's the best time to meet them. Let them meet you while you're struggling, clawing and scratching to get your shit all the way to the top. Because
Yeah.
at the end of the day, that's going to be the motherfuckers that you know is going to ride with you. And those are the people you want to pop that champagne, pop them bottles, and kick it with when you sitting on top of the mountain. You don't want the motherfuckers that's coming around now because it's all good and everything's squeaky.
Yes.
Everybody loves you when you win. But the person that loves you when you losing, that's the person you want around you.
Right.
Somebody to enrich your life. So
Thank you,
that person needs to
Tia.
make you, like, for us men, the best thing for us men, this is a role. And if a woman's not doing this for you guys, just cut your losses, enjoy the ass, and broom her fast. And yeah, I said it. Because if she's not enhancing or enriching your life, if she's not bringing you peace and structure, because that's women's job, they structure you. You find yourself a lot more on a schedule, a lot of things in order, because now you have things to build and work for. You have other things to do that's outside of yourself. Just like having a child. But even with a child, that's a finite thing. Your partner is somebody that's going to be with there if you're trying to go the distance with them until y'all both close your eyes for y'all find sleep. That person has to be somebody that can be your backbone. That woman has to be strong. And she ain't got to be strong like Big Mouth. Being a big mouth is not being strong. Being strong is knowing how to let you lay her head in your lap and rest you when you got the weight of the world on your shoulders. Or to straighten you out and call you on your shit when you are being on your bullshit.
Can I I'm
You
gonna
can
say this
say
about
anything you want to say there.
about the settling thing.
Yeah, because
Max and I did go back and forth about the settling thing. Um, the settling is not settling for just anything. Okay, we're not. He's not expressing that. Okay. When you settle, that means that you're, like he just said, you're accepting the person's flaws and all. That don't mean you're accepting being beat upside the head, cussed out, money stolen, whatever they doing that's causing you stress. That's not settling. Okay. But we did go back and forth about that because I have found that, some people say they have settled and they have been settled for, and then they come to realize that they did not want to be with that person from the very beginning. But honestly, I think that when you go in looking for flaws, like he said, like we both said, when you go in looking for flaws from the very beginning or looking for something bad from the very beginning, guess what? You're going to be focused on everything negative. So you've already gone in and you can't even develop the possibility of a good relationship because you're so focused on all the negatives. So you have to know what you will and will not accept in a person, and don't string them along if you know this person is not really meant for you just to have somebody there. Okay, that's all I'm saying on that.
that's a good point. That's another thing, too. Now, ladies, we're going to come back to you again. I'm always going to talk to the ladies. Let me tell you something. I am the biggest supporter, and this isn't, I don't have nothing against any other race or whatever, but I am a black man, and it's just our people, as far as black people, have been through so much throughout the history of our existence. Hundreds of years of slavery, hundreds of years of slavery, not to mention the total washing of and elimination of our culture, any connection to it. I am trying my best, and my mission out here, what made me start counseling and everything else, is I feel like if you're going to complain about something, but you're not doing something to make a change about it, then you're just another voice in the crowd, and you're a half measure. You're ineffective. You're just another person bitching in the wind. Me, I want to see our black families building again. Do you know the most successful people on this planet all have families? I don't care how big or bad you think you are. Hell, even a king has a queen. An emperor has an empress. You need to have a unit. Not to mention, at the end of the day, no matter how much great stuff you build, when you drop dead, what does it all mean if you have nothing to pass it on, no one or nothing to pass it on to? I want our rates to become the highest in this country of marriage instead of the lowest. Or hell, even if you don't want to get betrothed, if you have a happily family household, mom and dad needs to become a regular thing under the same fucking roof again. It is so crazy to me how I look and see somebody, oh wow, your mom and dad are still together 20, 30 years. We're seeing the last generation of that right now in the generation that's before ours. This generation right here, most of us ain't lucky if we make it 5 to 10 years. I see that statement, Sabrina. We get to that in a minute. You know what I'm saying? Because that's a long one. Mm-hmm. But this is something that needs to happen. And it starts with us. We are the generation to set the tone. Us 30, 40, and up somethings. Really the 30 and 40 somethings. We have to be the example.
Can we go to this?
Huh?
Sorry, I'm looking at the statement. Go ahead, but I'm looking at a statement. I want to go back.
We're gonna get to that in a minute.
Okay.
But we have to make sure that we are working to work together, because at the end of the day, especially in this day and age, how much do you really want to kill yourself? Think about it like this. The average income for a black man who earns more than an average black woman is $42,000 a year. Let's say we're not going to even incorporate kids and stuff into the expenses. $42,000 a year is not enough for even you to live on your own and be comfortable in a place like New York City, where that is an average income. I can tell you, I'm an electrician. There are jobs that start off at $15 an hour. That rounds up to, and those are electrician helpers. That is something where you're only earning and keep in mind, all the numbers I'm giving you is pre-tax. $39,500, and I know because I've calculated this many times. $39,500 a year.
That's nothing.
If you are by yourself, that ain't shit. Then you got the average black woman who, unfortunately, even though a lot of black women are being pushed through the cracks more than they used to, still statistically earn less than us men. At about $40,000 a year, average. All the numbers I'm talking average. Don't let these women that's out here fool you. Them chicks is earning. Some of them are earning That 40,000 a year, a lot of them are. And this is pre-tax money. Once you post-tax that, you're in freaking poverty. There's no way in hell you can survive like that on your own. What if you can't go run into mama or go run into Auntie T?
Mhm.
You don't have those options. The only thing you have, hey, what's up, Amoy? The only thing you have is each other. You have a lot more of a fighting chance with two incomes that now average out to about $79,000 a year to $80,000 a year, which still not that great for two people combined to earn. But I'm giving you the average scenario. A lot of people are living on those salaries right now. And let me tell you something, because, and I'm going to go to this again, and I know some people are going to roll eyes because I talk about this on every podcast, because y'all don't vote, because y'all don't hold these politicians accountable, we have a shitty ass fucking social service system. If nothing made you realize how shitty this governmental social services system is, COVID should have woke you up to that. Because while in Canada, they was getting a set amount of money every month, which may I add, they are not getting fucked in the ass now to make up for it, while meanwhile we are. They smoke screening under, oh, there's a war, oh, there's this, oh, there's that. But we all knew that all that money that the gas companies were losing because nobody was driving around was going to come back around. And guess what? $4.19 a gallon for regular. And guess
Right.
what? Most of us don't drive cars that even take 87. So guess what? Take a big whiff at that $5, and if you're in Cali, $6 a gallon you sniffing on right now. Because this country don't give a fuck about any of you, whether you black, white, green, or yellow. It only cares about is 2%. It has a governmental structure which is totally stupid, because the backbone of the economy is not the 2% that's hoarding all that money up there. The backbone of the economy is the working class people.
Mhm.
And on the bottom of that are the lower class people that are in poverty and struggling. Those are the three classes now. There's no lower class, middle class, and upper class. It's now poverty,
Mhm.
working class, and the upper 2%. And I agree, the country is very corrupt, but that also is a lack of accountability on the behalf of the people who think voting is bullshit.
Mhm.
It's not bullshit. But these are the things that will continue to happen. When's the last time you went to your local congressman's office and held them accountable for something when you went outside saw your roads was fucked up? That's your right to do. You paying these motherfuckers. I say this on every podcast because it just blows my mind. You sit there and give somebody your money. Like I said, me and Sabrina about to have the kick in can, because while y'all feeling generous, come throw some money this way so we can improve this equipment and bring up this production. Since y'all like throwing y'all money places, at least give it to something that cares about y'all. Because unlike the government, I actually give a fuck about everybody here. I want all of us to win. But if you don't want to win yourself, ain't nobody else going to put you in a winning position. And most of you do not have a winner's mentality. And that goes back, now we're going to bring it back to the relationship factor, which is, if you don't have your own shit together mentally, forget the physical and the financial, because your money goes up, your money goes down. This economy, you could be fucking sitting on money one day and fucking penniless the next.
Mhm.
But if your mind is on point, you at least have the faculties to weather the storm and get through it. You know what makes it easier? When you have a partner. Because when you aren't able to get your feet under you, they're able to cover you and have your back. Men, stop acting like you too big and bad because you need these women just as much as they need us. If there was no money in existence anymore and COVID had destroyed the economy to the point the whole thing crashed, we still would need them, and they definitely would still need us. These are things that you need to come to terms with. Isn't that right, Sabrina? Or do you
Yes.
disagree?
I mean, I'm neutral on it because, like I said, I'm not against relationships. I'm not against marriage. But however, there are other ways. If somebody does not want to be in a marriage and relationship, I can understand that. Because I'm not saying I'm one of them, but I can understand why they would not. Okay. However, the as far as coming together as a people, period, no matter how you do it, whether you have a partner behind you or not, you need to be more in tune with what's going on with black. Okay, black been struggling forever in this country. We need to get out that.
Well, that comes from unification, which is why I keep going back to the family structure. It starts with every family getting their shit together. Every unit getting together in their own homes first. Then, as a people, we can come up together and start to bring ourselves together like that. You can't do it all at once. It's a process. They put a lot of these social service systems in place to break up the fucking family. And I agree with the Moy statement. We do need to teach not just about stocks. We need to teach our kids about finance in general.
Mhm.
I pay child support to my child. That money goes directly to him. He hits me up and says, "Hey, this is how much money I have. I need you to, send me a couple of dollars." Da, da, da. I want to know what you're doing with your money. The
Mhm.
money's in his hands. His mom ain't holding it. He's holding it. He got his own car. And he only 12 years old. It ain't never too early to start teaching them. The moment they have the understanding of basic mathematics, you need to start teaching them about finance. When things cost money, don't bitch at them. Oh, this cost me $500 or da da da. No. You explain to them how these things cost and why these things cost what they cost and why you have to take this into consideration because it takes me this many hours in order to pay for this particular thing. Because when we work, we trade our time for money. Now, I want to double back real quick. There's a comment here. And I
Can we
just want
go
to
back
go through this real
to
quick. You want
yeah?
to read off that one, Sabrina? You want me to get it?
Is that the one from who was that?
That's from Brionia.
Okay,
I'm probably saying her name wrong, but we gonna
it's
ride with it.
Brianna. She said I have to teach my kids kings to treat a woman with respect and walk away from situations that no longer serve them. True. I never want my kids to take the mistakes I've done, take the mistakes I've done. Okay. Yes, I'm overprotective, but I'd rather them be happy than unhappy. I know I'm a strong mother. Sometimes I feel, sometimes I felt like I failed. I guess that's what she's saying. But in all reality, God has brought me to the light, and I'm blessed to have my little kings in my life. That's awesome,
All right.
Brianna.
Yeah, that's a dope thing. And listen, it's unfortunate, whether it be through uncontrolled means or if you got a knucklehead father, sometimes you gotta raise these children by yourself. And fellas, listen to me. I get it. Sometimes we get in a situation we ain't want to have no kids. We end up with a kid anyway. I get it. Verify the kid is yours first if it makes you feel better. After you verify that kid is yours, take care of that kid because listen, at the end of the day, this is still our future.
Mhm.
And we have to stop this trend of these mothers raising their. That's why a lot of these, and I'm not trying to bag on the women, but that's why a lot of these men, like from my age, when I've been out here in the dating world, a lot of shit that I do that's regular because I have the right influences around me. So I know how to treat a lady in a certain way. I do stuff, they look at me like I'm like, wow, this is crazy. And I'm like, how is this crazy? This is like regular shit. This is automatic. Open the door, make sure they walk on the proper side of you away from the street. You know, you open the car door for them, you take off their coat, you put it on. Like these are basic functions. You make sure that your back is never to the door when you're sitting with them. Man, if you're watching this, write this shit the fuck down because I'm tired of this shit sounding like a damn surprise. When I'm sitting down with women and I'm talking about this and they looking like, wow, I ain't never had nobody even do that for me. What do you mean? This is our job as men on this planet to make these women feel safe, just like it is their job to be our backbone and our peace of mind. If you're wondering why your relationship isn't progressing, often it's because that's missing on some angle. There's definitely something missing. And a lot of times it's basic things. It's not the big things. Even if a person's cheating, if they've treated that woman like gold and they had a slip up, that woman is more than likely, or that man is more than likely not going to go anywhere. They might be mad at you. You have some trust issues for a while. You'll have a hill to climb, some counseling to do, and all that. So trust me, I've sat through it. I've had to sit with it. It's rough. But at the end of the day, you allow yourself to have a much better and stronger situation if you come at it from a perspective of playing your gender roles properly. And it all starts with knowing where you stand from the moment you jump into this dating market. Know what your dating level is, know what it is your purpose of dating is, and only give your time to people whose dating level and mentality match your own. If it doesn't, I don't care if he's fucking Bill Gates, the second coming. Let that motherfucker go because you're going to be miserable. Somebody just jumped off the Verrazano Bridge today. It was on the news. Those in New York know how big that bridge is and how high up that bridge sits. And from what I hear, people have been doing stuff like that. And all of them aren't broke people. You know who's the people that don't kill themselves the most? Broke people. They're too busy fighting and trying to keep these bills paid and make sure their kids is good. A lot of people that's killing themselves and all that is people that got a couple of dollars in their pocket because that isn't the ultimate answer. Like there's some women out here, one of them main functions is they gotta, the guys, if they guy ain't got money, they ain't fucking with him. They gonna die alone. Or they gonna settle for somebody less than eventually. Just hope they not too dried up and tired by the time they decide to go for their winner. Because guess what? The guy that you going for gonna look at you like shit. You should have came at me 10 years ago. I don't want you now. I'm gonna go for the girl that's 10 years your junior, looking good and not talking that fuck shit that you was talking back in the day.
Let's go back to this comment here
What's up?
from Dre. He said women are not competing. They would rather complain about the old days.
Hold up. Put that one up on the screen.
I don't know how to do that.
Just tap it.
Okay. Oh. I don't know how to do that.
All right, don't worry about it. No, but nonetheless, in the terms of that, here's the comment right here.
Okay.
It said women are not competing. They are they rather complain about the old days. Well, let me tell you something about the old days. The old days are the old days. They are old days. You ain't getting no younger, ladies. Your sexual marketplace value sinks like a Scud missile as you sail through your 40s into your 50s and continues to drop. Now, granted, you can revamp yourself some because, especially, a lot of women age gracefully, and that's beautiful. But at the end of the day, the men you're fucking with will still rather the woman 20 years younger than you. And a 50-year-old man can very easily bag a 30-year-old dude. I mean, excuse me. A 50-year-old man can very easily bag a 30-year-old chick. Excuse me. Lord, all this damn forced sexuality, whatever in society, got my brain twisted now. Jesus.
We're gonna have another
Anyway,
discussion about that one.
no, but all jokes aside, that's one of the problems. You have to understand something. It's a lot easier for somebody like me, who's 41 going on 42 this year, to go bag a 20-something year old than it is for somebody, a woman of 40-something in particular, to maybe. And the thing is, she'll get with me and be serious. A lot of times you get one of them young dudes, their brains ain't fully developed to the level yet. So guess what happens? That woman loses them patience with that. They'll have some fun with it and then be like, oh my God, I can't do it. The most they'll use them for is some youthful dick. And the thing is, that's cool. But realistically, and all jokes aside, if a man at 50 decides he wants to make another baby, he can go electric slide his ass right on down to the 20-something, 30-something year old pool and go make him one. Woman can't do that. Once she hits that number, it's over for her. That's just biology. And you got to understand, this is why I say competing and old ways don't work together. You got to embrace the fact that your old days and your old ways are behind you.
What do you suggest women do, or what do you suggest they do with their thinking, or how to improve their perception of this whole competing thing?
How they improve their perception?
Uh-huh. How do they
Read.
need to perceive? Okay, gotcha.
You need to do your research. Just like you would do, you run your Googles, understand what percentage of the men, if you're into men, ladies, because I don't want to be unfair, just like fellas, if you're into men, that's your business. I ain't gonna knock it. But whatever you're into, you need to study it. You need to find your, you need to find out what your demographic is looking like. What percentage of them are in this bracket? What percentage of them in that bracket? What do you have to fuck with? Because a lot of you walk into a game unprepared. If you go in a job interview, you're gonna bring your resume. You're gonna do a little research on the job, ain't you? You're gonna find out what the company's about. You need to do the same thing when you're trying to mess with a man. You need to know what he's about. You need to know what men in that age group are about if you are not aware. Because some women don't even know that you can't bullshit around with a man over 40 years old. Ain't nobody got time for that.
Mm-hmm.
I see you, Sabrina. I know. We gonna get to that in a minute because I know you got things to do, and I want to eat. You know what I'm saying? Because I ain't eat my dinner yet.
Okay.
But like I said, the most important factor you have to take into your mind here is remember that it's never just you. No matter how fly you think you are, male or female, no matter how special your mama told you you was, that man ain't your mama. That woman ain't your mama. This is a
Right.
potential mate. Take it as such. Realize this is a cold, dark world out here. And if you want to be the light in somebody's darkness, you need to come with some brilliance.
Mhm.
Just having ass and titties sticking out and get you fucked hard. Just swinging your dick around to get you rolled on. But at the end of the day, if you're looking for something real, because even us men, eventually we want something real. Everybody
Mhm.
does. This game gets tired. No matter how you playing it, eventually you just want to chill and you want to focus. It's a lot easier to focus with that partner. Whether you marry them, just be love partners, whatever the fuck it is. But you have to take into consideration that is never just about you.
Mhm.
If you come to terms with that, you come to terms with realizing, ladies, that it's not just us men competing for your attention, it's you women competing for our attention too. Sabrina got lost.
Uh-oh, here
Where
we
she
go.
go?
Here we go. It's acting up like it usually does around this
Always
time.
does around that time.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway,
I'm still here.
no, I see you. I see you. No, but like I said, at the end of the day, if you want something great, you have to be willing to put out a great effort. You can't complain and say, "Oh, niggas ain't shit." No, no, ladies. It's the fact that you ain't putting no effort in it. You're just sitting back, and only the ancient niggas gonna be the ones to put the effort through to chase you.
Mhm.
I'm gonna tell you a little secret about men. The highest quality of men are not the men that's constantly sliding in everybody's DMs
Right.
because they're too busy handling business to be chasing pussy. I don't know if you ever heard the expression, but this expression is passed around us men all the time. You don't chase pussy, you chase money. You chase that business. Those are the things you take care of. Because you will never lose women when you putting that effort out. They gonna see you and they gonna come right to you. And women, make yourselves look available too. Stop acting like you're untouchable. Because if you do that, ain't nobody gonna come to touch you. There's a lot of beautiful, amazing women that are single just because they're too busy acting too high post and nobody gonna bother to approach them. Because men are simple creatures. They don't like complication.
Right.
If you gonna be a complication in a world where us men, especially us black men, have enough complication and conflicts to fight on a daily basis, and you think you about to come march your little I got nice titties and a fat ass in and make it even more complicated, we gonna roll you right back out on them same titties and ass you walked in on after we finish having some fun with you. Lucky if we call you again afterwards. That's just the way that it goes. You want to be treated like more than that, then you need to stop playing yourselves.
Mhm.
A lot of you walk around here and you talk about, oh, I'm this and oh, I'm that. Don't nobody give a flying fuck about that shit. There's 4 to 5 of you for every one of us, easily. If your name is not Gaia or Earth, ain't nothing orbiting or revolving around your ass. Just to segue that comment that I just saw into it.
Right.
That's the way that works. And y'all need to get with it. Let's build these families. Let's suck up a little bit of that pride. Ladies, don't be afraid to be friendly. I get it. You don't want stalkers. Don't be overly friendly and pay attention to your surroundings. But be approachable and be realistic. Take a good long look at what you look like in the mirror once you take all that bullshit off your faces. Because that's what a man got to wake up to. If he still thinks you're beautiful when you're like that, you good money. When you're in your natural state. But the only time you getting compliments from him is when you doll yourself up. You in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
You ladies have to be realistic. And y'all aren't.
Andre, quit all that laughing. He's just having too much fun.
No,
Oh,
because I mean, it's a real fucking thing, and a lot of women don't realize that it's bullshit. That this is not something that you can just allow to continue. And it is us as men's job to hold y'all accountable to this. Just like when we're doing fuck shit, it is y'all job to hold us accountable. But Lord knows y'all mouths is always flapping about what we ain't doing. But let me tell y'all what y'all ain't doing. You know how many of y'all fucked up with a dope ass nigga like myself? Because y'all just didn't have consistency and communication, the two C's. How many of you fellas were too busy chasing some little ratchet chick that you knew wasn't worth more than a couple of backseat back shots simply because she had everything dangling out? Meanwhile, the chick that really was the baddie had a little bit more clothes on, but she still was quality, and you didn't pay that no mind because you was too busy looking at this little sparkly thing here. And then wondering why you end up in all types of drama. Why you sitting up here now on child support, in court back and forth, going through the fuck shit. You people have to learn to look beyond the bullshit and pay attention to the obvious things that are going to tell you whether a person is quality or not.
right.
Women, you work. Y'all have incomes now. This isn't the 1950s. Yes, a man should be earning and be able to provide. I agree. But in the day and age where getting a one-bedroom apartment in New York City costs $2,000 a month, let me tell you a little something about cooperation. Work the fuck together and make it easy on yourselves instead of sitting there watching this man work himself to death. We are losing the little bit of foothold we have left in our society because of this. We don't
Can I
work
say
together. We
something?
always find something wrong with somebody. Learn to
Can I say something
settle.
on that?
Huh?
Can I say something on that?
Oh, go ahead, please.
I don't get on the fellas. I mean, he did mention about women, helping out, working. I totally agree. I mean, now I know there's a lot of women that always say, "Okay, I'm independent." Great, but when you get a guy, great, you helping out. Men, when you see she's independent, when you see she's helping you out, please appreciate it. Because there's a lot of women that walk around that feel unappreciated when she's putting forth that effort to help you out as well. I've heard too many stories from women that said, okay, I helped out and he went and did this and he didn't appreciate that. A lot of women out here that feel unappreciated as well. Please learn how to appreciate a good woman when you got her. I get tired of hearing those types of stories. Honestly, I've been that type of woman too. I helped out in my marriage, you know, and I was told I shouldn't have been helping out in that marriage, but hey, I did anyway
Oh,
because I'm
yeah.
not one to sit back and let a man do everything. I'm going to help out, but
Mhm.
I mean, it's got to be appreciated as well. So please do that for the woman that's really down for you. Appreciate.
And that goes to one more thing. Now, I'm gonna make this because, like I said, we dragging. We've been on this
Mm-hmm.
for a while now. It was over an hour.
Yes.
Um, I'm gonna say this one thing, ladies. Uh-oh, here we go again.
What?
Here's the thing: when you feel unappreciated, don't yell at him that you feel unappreciated. Have a conversation. I know conversation is a big word, and some people won't, because a lot of people's attention span is only 2 seconds. The moment I got to converse, they no conversation, communicate. Say, listen, this is how I feel about this. You know what a man doesn't respond to? Because that's all we hear when you're doing all that yelling and screaming and bitch. Agreed. If you are putting forth that effort, you should be recognized and appreciated for that. That goes on both sides.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But please learn how to communicate with each other like human beings. If you do these things that have been mentioned on this video, you will see the difference in your relationships in your life. Or you could not listen to me. I'll be all right. I know what I'm going to do. And you keep doing what you're doing that ain't working. And then you can hire me to come consult you and your partner because I'll be happy to do it. Because I ain't doing it for free. Ain't nothing on this world free, and neither in me. And I said neither in me on purpose because it rhymes with free. Fuck you.
You're so crazy.
But
We're gonna go
anyway,
ahead and get off this thing.
we getting off this thing.
Thank you guys. Thank you
Hold
so
on,
much for tuning in. What's that?
somebody says something. I want to give them this burn. All right, we
Okay.
gonna let this last one rock, and then we gonna get the hell off of this. She said, "I've had my conversations when I talk low, but when I feel they didn't hear me by saying, 'What does that mean?' That's when I'm like, okay, why should I have to repeat myself when I said it the first time? I'm gonna teach you one thing. This is for free. After this, you're gonna pay because it's late and I want to get off this. I'm hungry. Um, when it comes to this conversation, you have to understand that you have to reiterate and say things multiple times before it sinks in. You have to do that with children, and children are sponges. Adults are stubborn old mules that it takes a minute for things to sink into their brain. So you're going to repeat yourself, and that's okay. But it should only take a few repeats. After that, if they're still not doing this because they don't give a fuck, either that or they
Hmm.
don't.
Both.
It could be a combination of both. But my thing is, you're going to have to repeat yourself. And then have consequences for things. If a person's not giving you what you want, you've got to pull back and let them know you're pulling back and why. Don't play the sex game. Well, I'm not gonna fuck you. That doesn't hurt a man. He'll just go fuck somebody else.
Mhm.
But anyway, Andre makes a good point. And some people do talk so much you can barely get anything in edgewise. And us men go through that a lot because when a woman's talking you down, I tell women all the time, and fellas, I'm gonna give you this one for free. All you got to do is when ignore that and be straight and firm. Do not argue with a female. You're going to fucking lose. You're going to lose every single time. Don't argue with them. What you do is very eloquently say, I'm not going to have a shouting match with you. If you want to communicate like this, you can do it with yourself. I will ignore you and I'll walk away. If you want to have a conversation about something you don't agree with me on, then we can do that. And stay firm to that. Fellas, women are naturally more emotional than us. So sometimes the emotions get the best of them. You have to be the mature, manly center and say, I'm not going to argue with you. That's all you got to say. Because after a
We're gonna
while,
talk about communication another time.
yeah, I'm just going to say this one thing. Once
Mhm.
you realize she's not, once she realizes she's just yelling by herself and you're not listening, she's going to shut up. Nobody likes to talk to themselves. And then nobody hears each other when you're both yelling.
Mhm.
But like I said, like Sabrina said, we'll get into the eloquency of communication another time.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of different levels to communication. And I don't feel like getting into it right now. And I'm sure Sabrina ready to go because she got things to do. You so damn transparent. If you wasn't dark skinned, I'd call you translucent out this motherfucker.
Shut the hell up.
But anyway, appreciate y'all time. Serena,
Thank
any
you
words
guys.
before we go?
My last thought from the very beginning, this is all about protecting men. Be protective of of us, okay? But women, we have to be the backbone to help them to protect us, okay? So that's what this is all about. Thank y'all for tuning in. We appreciate everybody. Have a great night. I'm get off.
I bet you're about to. Have a good night.
Good night, y'all.
Yeah.